What's up, Tweener heads? Welcome back to another Tweener head tennis video today here on the channel, and today we have another racket review for you guys. We have the 2022 Ezone 98 for you. Now, I was able to get this thanks to one of our sponsors and helpers of the channel, the Tennis Spot. So if you want to go show your support and shop local, make sure you use code Tweener10 for 10% off your entire order. Before I started using Yonex, I used the Wilson, and the only Yonex I had for a reference at the time was the Yonex VCore Pro 97. But after I got my review out about the new 98 last year, I wanted to test this one out and kind of give my thoughts and opinions on it. And before I start this video, I have two things to say. One, make sure you're subscribed to Tweener Head Tennis. And the second thing I want to add is that when you look for a new racket to check out or to try out and to buy, to purchase, to whatever you want to do with it, I think I said the same thing twice. It's all about how you play and what you feel like. So the racket I uses Tour by 16L, and it's strung at 50 pounds. Now, did I have any decision in that? No. Did I still use it? Yes. So you can always customize it, always try out different things when you try out a racket. So this is my opinion with this setup with a 4 3/8 grip, the Ezone 98, and with the 16L Tour by strung at 50 pounds. And I wanted to give you that disclaimer before I start giving my opinions, because everyone has a different setup and everyone has a preference. Now, something new that Yonex added this year, and then this racket is coming out in January of 2022, but something new that they added to the racket was 2G NAMD speed, which is added to the shaft, which produces better ball feedback and a better response time for your touch. Now, Ezones have been known to have a better feel and pocket presence, at least in my opinion, when I test them out. And something that I really loved about this racket, and we're going to start with the aesthetics first, is that the color of it is fantastic. Yonex seems to be going into this new look of multicolor rackets, and it's not just the light blue that they had last year with a hint of white and a hint of red in the lettering, but from a blue, black, silver type of look. And I actually really do enjoy it, and they're doing that with the new VCore Pro itself with the green, black, and kind of purple look to it. And I actually really do enjoy these cosmetics, and I like the change of not just having that bright blue, but having kind of a blend of multiple colors, because while it is a little bit discreet, I do like the look of it, and it looks like a good racket to use. So I think in terms of buying a racket, that's usually the first thing people look at and first thing people look to kind of start with when you purchase a new racket. So I thought that was the first thing that came to mind, is that it looks good, and it has to look good. So I think they did a really good job on that. In terms of my playtest, I did do the overall ground strokes, volleys, overheads, and serve with it, and I was using a ball machine at the time thanks to Milford Indoor Tennis. Now, I didn't get to play with it like a match, but I do think this is a good starting point to talk about the racket. For me, on the ground strokes, it felt pretty good. Compared to the last Ezone 98, I felt like the shaft was made a little bit more square, and for me personally, I used the VCore Pro 97, and I like the square feel to it, because for my backhand, I feel like it has that ability to kind of square up and launch off my racket. And I think that's one of the things that Yonex really promoted with their 2G NAMD, man, that's hard to say, is when it came to constructing the racket, I felt like I was able to square off with it, and I felt like it had a lot of good forgiveness with it compared to the 98, where I felt like I shanked the ball and it was just going to go anywhere else. I felt like it was a little bit more forgiving, whether I was hitting in the center of the ball or I was hitting off to the side of my racket. So I felt like that was a really good thing that it had to do with. This, compared to the Ezone, are two very different rackets. This is for power, and the Ezone's used more for control. So I felt like that really did allow me to have more forgiveness with the ball, and just using it in general compared to last year's. And I'm using the last year's a lot to compare to it, because that was my first time using an Ezone, and I think they did a really good job of upgrading that ability to center the ball on your racket and the ability to launch it and have that good feel to it. In terms of the volleys, one thing that I really liked about it is how well I was able to hit that ball deep into the court, and how I was able to kind of guide it to where I wanted to go. But in terms of hitting short shots and angling the ball, change of direction, it was fine, but hitting a short ball, I felt like I really had to chop down on the ball and really kind of loosen my grip a lot if I wanted that ball to fall closer to the net and hit a drop shot off. while that may not be for everyone, that might be the string, that might be the racket itself, but for me, that's how I felt. When I was trying to kind of drive it a little bit too, I felt like that comfort was able to come through how tight I was holding the racket. So for me, when I went to volley, putting it deep was no problem, changing the direction of it was no problem, but just being able to move it side to side was a little bit tougher, so I had to grip on the racket a little bit harder. And in terms of the overheads were fine. I think there's a big difference between serving and overheads when you're reviewing a racket. I think for the overheads, there's not much to say there because I thought it was just a fine racket. You're able to control it. You're able to get a good feel of the ball once you hit down on it. For the serve, though, for me, I felt like this, and for the last Ezone that I tested, the 98, I was able to hit a good kick serve. I was able to put more spin on the ball, and it was the same kind of story with this one. And for me, one of the things I always have trouble with is slicing out wide. And with this racket, I felt like I was able to cut through that ball, and I feel like it was a lot more comfortable to use. I got a really good pop on the ball as well because I was able to center that ball on my racket a lot more, just because of how comfortable the frame was for me. I have to say it still adds that spin that I look for, and it's still comfortable to hit off the racket, and I really do enjoy serving with it. I think that's the best thing that I loved about the racket, for me at least. And it's a good racket overall, but for me, the backhand with a little bit more square of a frame was good for me compared to last year's Ezone, and the serve was really good for me, having that slice out wide serve added to my arsenal thanks to the racket. Now, this is just my opinion. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on the Ezone 98. If you had the chance to check it out, or if you were able to test out any new rackets, let me know what kind of rackets you want to see me test out in 2022. Hopefully we'll get some new ones out from Yonex, but I think the Ezone's going to be a really good one to look out for, especially next year. Let me know what setup you guys have down in the comments below, what you guys, in terms of not just rackets but other tennis products, you want to see me test in 2022. Leave in the comments below. Make sure you leave a big like on this video, as well as making sure you subscribe to Tweener at Tennis if you want to. We'd love for you to join the Tweener at Tennis family. Make sure to check out all our social medias down in the description below, and make sure to check out our membership as well, because we are posting videos that I do not post to everyone on the members program. So make sure to check it out. New badges, new content, everything like that you can check out if you want to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, guys.